G'day, welcome to Street Need Limited. What I'm going to show you here today is another one of my little tricky tips on how to fill in unwanted holes. There's a hard way of doing it, and that's sitting there with a pair of tin snips and cutting out a hole. Or there's my way, and if you follow along I'll show you quickly exactly how it's done. In this HQ Holden we had a speedo cable, or a shifter cable I would say, it would have been a shifter cable, has gone through the floor here, and it was quite a rough hole. They punched it with a, looked like a nail punch or centre punch or something. I've enlarged the hole with the tapered step drill, so it's gone through there. I've enlarged the hole, I've now got a nice neat hole. I've then gone through and just basically dressed everything up with the hammer and dolly just to make sure that everything is exactly as I want it. So now the hard thing is we've now got to fill in this hole, and I'll show you exactly how we do that. I'm fortunate enough that I own a Dentmaster Spot Weld dent puller, and basically we pop in a nail. Nail looks like that. We pop in a nail. I take a piece of scrap 1.2 zinc anneal, and all I do is basically find approximately centre, weld that on there. That's a decent weld. There's a little bit of gasology going on here, but what I'll do now is cut that approximately square. I now have a square patch to go in a round hole, and I'll show you exactly how that's done. We'll take our same drill, get rid of the spot weld thing, get rid of the taper, the taper step drill. Now what I've left here with is something, as you can see, is not exactly round. I'm going to make it a little bit easier, and I can just trim off the corners. And it doesn't really matter, because you'll see why in a minute. You can be reasonably rough with it. I'm going to pop that in the drill. Now, sometimes when you weld the nail in, it might be a bit bent, so you put it on the bench. And we true it up. And then we come across to the bench grinder. I like to use the Hitachi 18 volt cordless drill for doing this job, because it's variable speed. Very quickly you can see it's starting to find its own true force, and it's starting to make the thing round. Now that's just done that in real world time, so you haven't seen me stop and do anything else. What I'll do then is bring it up to the hole, and I'll just check to see how I'm going on size. And like I said, there's a bit of gasology going on here, and you get good at figuring out how much to take off. that's about the right size. And it's exactly the right size, but to speed things up a bit, I have actually done one. I got one I prepared earlier. So the whole idea of that is that the nail needs to be welded on there pretty good. You can just TIG weld a nail or a piece of welding wire on there, but welding wire won't work so well because it'll be too soft. This is a proper dent pulling nail. If you don't have that, you can use like a carpenter's nail, use whatever you want. And in short, you can fine tune this. This is 1.2 mil thick steel. The steel on the car and the floor pan here is around about 1 mil, and it varies because it's all being pressed into shape. But just to give you an idea, here's the one I prepared a little earlier, and I found the best fit. I'll put a little index mark on there, an index mark on here, and hopefully for the camera it will play the game. And lo and behold, there's your hole filled. From here, I can TIG weld that, I can gas weld it, or if you're really rough, you can MIG weld it. But MIG welding's fine if you just like to do a lot of cleanup. I will probably TIG weld this, and that will keep it nice and neat. And in a nutshell, that's basically how you fill in a hole. A round hole with a square bit of steel. Thanks for watching.